So, you're ready to start your cloud journey? Perfect. The AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam, that's your first, most important step. In this explainer, we're going to build the definitive roadmap to help you absolutely master the core concepts you need to know, and of course, pass that CLF C02 exam. Let's dive in.
Okay, so how do you actually pass this thing? It's really not about memorizing hundreds of services. It's about shifting your mindset, learning to think about technology in a new way. And that's exactly what we're going to break down step by step.
You might be wondering, is this exam for me? Well, it's designed to validate a foundational understanding of AWS, which makes it perfect for people in sales, marketing, project management, really, anyone just starting their technical journey. The real goal here is to learn how to speak the language of the cloud. All right, here's our game plan. We'll start with the why of the cloud, then the where of its infrastructure, the what of its core services. Then we'll cover the who in security, the how much of pricing, and finally, we'll wrap it all up with a solid strategy to pass the exam. Let's start with the absolute fundamentals. You've got to master these core cloud concepts because they really do form the basis for pretty much every question you're going to face on the exam. At its heart, cloud computing is pretty simple. Instead of buying and running your own physical servers in a closet somewhere, you access technology services like computing power or storage on an as-needed basis from a provider like AWS. It's kind of like switching from owning your own power plant to just plugging into the wall and paying your electric bill. These 6 benefits right here, they are the key to unlocking dozens of exam questions. Seriously. Think of them in 3 buckets: cost savings, agility, and global scale. The exam won't just ask you to list them. Nope, it'll give you a business problem, and you'll have to pick which of these benefits is the solution. Now, that first benefit is so important we need to zoom in on it. Capital expenditure, or CapEx, is that big chunk of money you spend upfront on physical stuff. The cloud flips that to operational expenditure, or OpEx. Think of it like this. Buying a car is CapEx. Using a ride-sharing service is OpEx. You only pay when you actually use it. This is a crucial concept for the exam. So now that we know why we use the cloud, let's look at where everything actually runs. Understanding the physical layout of AWS is totally key to answering questions about reliability and performance. AWS infrastructure really has 3 main building blocks. You've got regions, which are physical locations around the world, like Northern Virginia or Ireland. Then inside a region, you have multiple availability zones, which are basically isolated data centers for redundancy. And finally, you have edge locations, which are all about getting content closer to your users for faster delivery using a service called CloudFront. Okay, let's get to the services themselves. Now, for the Cloud Practitioner exam, listen closely. You do not need to know the deep technical details of how each service works. You just need to know what each service is for. Think of it like a giant toolbox. You just need to know which tool to grab for which job. At a high level, services fall into 4 main categories. Compute is where your applications actually run. Storage is, well, where you keep your data. Databases are for organizing and retrieving that data. And networking provides the secure, private connections between everything. Let's clarify a really common exam topic: storage types. Object storage, like Amazon S3, is for whole files. Think images, videos, backups. You upload and download the entire thing. Block storage, like Amazon EBS, is more like a virtual hard drive that you attach to a server. It's where you'd install your operating system. You'll also see questions about the 2 main types of databases. Relational databases, like Amazon RDS, are for data that fits neatly into tables with rows and columns, just like a spreadsheet. Non-relational or NoSQL databases, like DynamoDB, are way more flexible. Think user profiles or video game leaderboards where every item might look a little different. Okay, this brings us to one of the most critical parts of the exam: security. The number 1 question you need to be able to answer is, in any given situation, who is responsible for what? And this slide right here perfectly illustrates the core concept, the shared responsibility model. It's simple. AWS takes care of the security of the cloud. That means the physical buildings, the servers, the network cables. You, the customer, are responsible for security in the cloud. That's your data, who has access to it, and patching your systems. So how do you manage security in the cloud? Your primary tool is IAM, which stands for Identity and Access Management. It lets you create users and control what they can do. The key concept here, and you'll definitely see this, is the principle of least privilege. It just means you only give a user the absolute minimum permissions they need to do their job, and nothing more. All right, we've covered the technology. let's talk about the business side of things. Understanding AWS pricing and support is a huge part of the cloud practitioner's role, and you can bet it's a major exam domain.
The fundamental idea is pretty simple. You pay only for what you use when you use it. To manage this, AWS gives you tools like the pricing calculator to estimate costs before you build anything, and AWS budgets to send you an alert when your spending goes over a limit that you set.
So, what happens when you need help? There are different levels of support. For the exam, you just need to know the high-level differences. Basic is free, comes with every account. Developer is for testing stuff. Business gives you 24/7 support for your real applications. And enterprise, that's the top tier, where you get a dedicated person to help you. Okay, we have covered all the core knowledge. Now for the final and maybe most important piece of the puzzle, how to apply that knowledge on exam day. Let's learn to think the way the exam wants you to think.
Here's a perfect example. The question asks for 2 benefits of the AWS cloud. Your brain should immediately go back to that list of 6 advantages we talked about. Now look at the options. You can see they're really testing if you understand that concept of trading CapEx for variable expense. The key isn't just knowing the definition, it's recognizing the pattern of how AWS asks about it.
And please, be aware of these common exam traps. You might see 2 services that sound alike but do totally different things. You have to read the full question. Look for words like not. And pay super close attention to keywords like cost-effective, which is a hint about saving money, or highly available, which is a clue about using multiple availability zones. Always, always read the question twice. And finally, let's talk about what you can just relax about. You are not expected to know how to write code, design some complex cloud architecture, or troubleshoot tricky systems. This exam is all about the what and the why, not the deep technical how. So focus your energy on the concepts. So there you have it. You now have the complete blueprint for the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam. We've covered the core concepts, the infrastructure, the main services, security, pricing, and the strategies for exam day. You have the map. Now it's time to start your journey. Thanks so much for watching. If this was helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions.